So I actually just was doing this. I had just started to record a video. And I think I was saved by myself by a phone call. Actually, two right in a row. Because I was at like 10 minutes and I was just kind of rambling because my thoughts weren't fully put together. But actually, it was great because it gave me a chance to really think about what I wanted to say. And so my whole point was that I'm trying to do some things differently right now because my health has been suffering and I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm over it. I think I have finally, knock on wood, I think I've come out of my flare. And it's mid-June, and that started around Christmas time, so that's a long time. And, I feel a lot of things, but some of the big things are I feel like my illness started to become what absolutely defined me in my entire life because I had to think about it so much. Like when I was in a flare, I had to constantly try to figure out how I was going to manage my life while in it. When the flare was over, there was this rush to do all of the things because when is it going to come back? And I just, I don't want to do it. I had so much testing, so many doctor's appointments. And so much of it is inconclusive. And that is unfortunately seems to be the case with autoimmune things for a long, long time. Is that they're just kind of sucks to be you, basically, is the way to put it. And, I'm just over it. I don't want that to be my life anymore. I don't want to be the person who's sick. I don't want my life to be, I don't want to be in PT multiple days a week. I don't want to be going to doctor's appointment after doctor's appointment. I don't want to be going and getting tests done that exposed me to radiation. And, like last summer I had a bunch of nerve testing done and it's so painful and I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be on medication. I am, for whatever reason, insanely sensitive to medication. And I don't, like my doctor put me on this medication that I then was going to need to have regular lab tests done because it affects your liver. And it didn't even help. I took it and maybe it's because it was a low dose, but I didn't honestly find enough relief that it justified being on it, and I don't want to do it anymore. So last week, I was actually really proud of myself, and this might sound silly, but I went 2 whole days without drinking any coffee or having any sugar of any kind. Coffee has been like it's been the like pry it out of my dead hands thing, right? Like take everything else from me, just don't take my coffee. And I think it just became, I don't know, there was comfort in it, right? Like I started drinking coffee when my now 18-year-old was a toddler. And I probably just want cream and sugar if I'm being honest. Like, give me a cup of black coffee and I'm good. Like, I don't want it. But for 2 days last week, I didn't have it. And it was sort of unprompted. Like, I knew I needed to. And I had planned to do it the week before. And I put it off. And last week, I just finally was like, forget it. I'm just going to do it today. And I did buy caffeine pills. But it was fine. So I got 100 milligram caffeine pills. I took 2 a day, so 1 in the morning and 1 at night. I'm not afraid to take the 200s because I drink like coffee that has like 300 milligrams of caffeine in it without a problem. I'm so used to it at this point. But I wanted to be able to taper off and I wasn't sure how much I would need. It says not to take more than 4 a day, which makes me think that I have clearly taken too much caffeine in my lifetime. Like I drink 300 milligrams in one sitting. What do you mean? 400 is my max, right? So I did it for a couple of days and I probably should have kept going a little longer. But on day 3, my period showed up. It was 12 days late. The month before, it had been 10 days early and then it lasted 3 weeks. I'm hoping it's just evened out because this time it came 12 days late and it was only 4 days, maybe 5. Either way, not 3 weeks. So I'm hoping maybe I'm evened out. Next month I'll be okay. But I gave up. I was like, forget it. I'm tired. I hit my period. I just want my coffee. And I did. And it was fine. But I think I'm going to start it again because I just felt better. I felt better, and I think, 1, I was proud of myself. 2, I don't feel sick when I drink dairy, but I feel like after I drink dairy, I have to swallow a lot for a long time. And I don't want anything to have control over me anymore. I was that person for a long time who like would get up, go to the bathroom, have a cup of coffee, like without any thought about it. And I just don't want to be in a place in my life where I am dependent on anything. I want to choose to do something. I want to choose to not do it. But that's all I want it to be, where I choose to or I choose not to. So that is, I think I will do it again by this week. Fridays, I usually have a cup of coffee with somebody in the morning. But I can make a different choice. They can have their cup of coffee and I can have something else. And it's all good. Or I'll have a cup of coffee and it won't be a big deal. So I think I'm going to start it again. That way I can get back to doing a better job, doing what I need to do. But yeah, so there's my little ramble about that. Oh yeah, so what I was starting to talk about before my phone rang, and this is my inspiration right now. So I got to a really bad place where, it was only a few weeks ago where I just was like, I feel like I've lost so much hope, right? Like, do I have hope left? And so this is a biblical reference. Sorry, I couldn't get that out of my mouth. But it was talking about not giving up at the 40 because your 41 is coming. And, it listed off a bunch of different events from the Bible where, these things were going on for 40 days. But then all the things that happened on day 41. And I think it just kind of gave me the inspiration to just keep going, that maybe I am just in my dark time that is trying me, but my 41 is coming. I also think it holds some significance to me because I just turned 38 a few weeks ago. So, 41 is literally around the corner. And obviously I would like to feel better before, 3 years from now. I would like to be in a place where I've been better for a little bit, not just getting there, but even still, even if it's a little bit further away than I want, it just gave me hope to not give up, to not let this be when I lay down and give up, because better comes. Just hold on. So I am just holding on. I'm holding on, and I am trying to renew my faith that it will get better and that all of this is not for nothing, and that I have the control to do what I need to do for my health and my wellness, and that it's not a doctor who's going to save me or some crazy cure or a diet, anything, that I'm going to save myself. And I think I gave away all my power. I think I was so scared and desperate when I got sick, especially 3 years ago when I got really sick really fast. I was so desperate for answers that I gave all my power away to doctors, to tests, to the next treatment option, to just I gave up thinking that any of this was within my control, and I let so many outside forces dictate my life. And I think it's time to take it all back and to truly believe that I am the key to saving myself, and that it's not going to be a doctor, or like I said, it's not a doctor, it's not going to be a diet, it's not going to be anything else. It's going to be the combination of things that I choose to do, the steps that I choose to take, the things that I choose to walk away from, the things that I choose to take in. That's going to be what saves me. And as silly as it sounds, just taking baby steps to make different choices, it gives me hope that I can do it, because some of these things that might seem really small are things that I was hung up on for years. And I think I'm finally at a place where I finally feel like I matter enough to do something, and I matter enough even if I'm the only person who thinks that I matter enough to do it. And that's a whole conversation for another day. But something I stumbled upon recently in therapy is, I had this really bad faulty core belief that I just didn't matter. And it was because of so many things, but at the end of the day, I felt like I didn't matter. And I could give you so many examples of situations I was in where the actions of other people reinforced to my own belief that I wasn't enough. And then, those my own feelings of not being enough caused me to do so many things and live my life in a way that I'm not mad at myself for. I made the choices I did with the best information that I had. And I did what I thought was right. But I have made a lot of choices in my life that I probably wouldn't have made if I actually believed that I mattered even a little bit. And especially the choices that I made trying to get someone to reciprocate. And anyway, that's a conversation for another day. But anyway, that is actually a topic I would like to explore, but just not today. I'm already at 11 minutes, and I kind of want to think about how I want to discuss that one a little bit better. But I have decided finally that I matter enough to do something, and I matter enough to put my time and energy and resources into helping myself, because if this were anyone else in my life, I wouldn't even be questioning whether or not they needed to do the things that they needed to do to care for themselves. But for some reason, I've questioned whether I deserve and matter and deserve to take up space and energy and resources and all of these things to heal myself. But I finally decided that I do matter enough to do these things. So with that being said, I'm gonna stop recording. I'm going to go take a drive where I need to drive, and I'm hoping that my toddler drifts back off to sleep while we drive where we need to drive. And if he doesn't, then we're just gonna crank up the music and jam out to toddler tunes. But yeah, so happy Monday. Talk to you later.